Hey everybody, wake up. This is Wake Up with Mark Joyner, episode number 59, and today we are going to do a fun little experiment together. Oops. All right. Okay, I'm going to pull up the chat box here so I can see what y'all are saying on different platforms live, if all this is working correctly. So rather than talk at you guys today and give you a lecture, give you thoughts and ideas on a particular topic, we're going to do something together. See, somebody wrote into me and they said, Mark, I love your videos, but it feels like you're lecturing me. It feels like you're yelling at me. It's not my intention. It's not my intention at all. In fact, if anything, when I tell you to wake up, it means to wake up and do some good stuff for you, for your body. If anybody's watching live, I want to see some interaction here. I want to see some comments from anybody watching live right now. This is morning for me. Most of y'all watching this are watching this morning your time in the States. I know that. Some of y'all are in Europe. But whoever's live, I want to see a comment because this is not going to be any fun unless I've got people interacting with me live right now. So if you are watching live, please just say hello, yes, something, anything I need to see, because this is going to be super dull and super pointless if nobody's actually watching live. I know there are some people watching live. You're probably scared to type in and say something. Come on, just say, I'm alive. Do I see a comment? I see a comment on one box here, but it's not coming up on my Restream chat window here. I cannot read. Oh man. Tell you guys this technology here, right? So I'm using Restream. Restream comes with a chat window, a separate chat window to help me see the messages that are coming in. What you guys see on the screen is too small for me in the interface that I'm on right now for me to actually read, and I really need to get some live feedback from you guys. So anyway, you know what? We're just going to roll with this anyway. I will sort this technical stuff out. Now that I know a few of you guys are watching live, here's what we're going to do. So rather than me give you a lecture on a particular topic and expound upon some knowledge I think you might need in your mind, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take us through a bit of an exercise. Okay, so I want to teach you a little concept here. One of the things we have in this, one of our old school Simpleology courses called Simpleology 203, the simple science of invincibility. The whole notion behind this thing is a way to give you a framework that you can use to change your mood so that you can feel invincible all the time. Now, wouldn't it be kind of awesome to walk around feeling invincible rather than walking around feeling dull and tired and depressed like most of us are? Now, the concept, the key foundation of this whole thing is based on this notion of what I call the Taft loop, the T-A-F-T loop. Thinking, acting, feeling, and talking. The way you think affects the way you act, and the way you act affects the way you feel, and the way you feel affects the way you talk. But these things are all interchangeable. The way you talk affects the way you act. The way you talk affects the way you feel. The way you talk affects the way you think. The way you think affects the way you talk. The way you talk affects the way you feel. The way you talk affects the way you act. So if you hack into your TAFT loop and program it for whatever the desired result is that you want, you are going to tend to get that desired result. And it's pretty interesting when you look at it this way. Now, most of us are using it in totally the wrong way. What do? We wake up in the morning, we slam our hand down on the snooze button, and we're angry at life. We're complaining about things. We turn on the TV and it's dumping ideas into our mind about this crisis or that crisis, whether or not it is real or manufactured. I don't do those things to wake myself up. When I wake up, I immediately put myself in a good mood. How? I move my body around in a particular way. I do my little calendar that brainwashes you exercise. If you guys have one of those and you're not doing it every morning, you are crazy. It's going to help you get into a good mood every morning. And then what I do, this is why you guys see me all sweaty in the mornings when I do these wake up videos, is I go outside and I do some animal flows and I do some Wim Hof breathing. I do this as I watch the sunrise. Now, usually I'm up around 4 a.m., okay? And I get a little bit of work done, but then when the sunrise hits, boom, that's my trigger to get out there and do my morning flow routine. All right, now you guys can design your own routine, design something that's going to put you in a positive mood, because if you're in a positive mood, if your energy is high, if you're able to channel your energy in positive ways, you're going to get better results in everything that you do. Okay, whether or not this is going to work on some ethereal law of attraction vibrational level, who knows if that's actually happening or not. I kind of tend to believe that it is. To an extent. I think that there is even scientific evidence to support that notion. Does that mean that you can just simply think things and that things are going to pop in front of you? No, I don't think it works that way. I think you got to get in there and you got to do some real work. But if you have positive attitudes about doing the real work that you have to do to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish, well, you're going to have a lot more energy to do it. Now think about it, right? If you're pissed off and resentful about the work that you got to do, of course your energy is going to drop. You're not going to be able to bring as much mental and physical and emotional energy into whatever work it is that you're doing. So you can hack into this TAFT loop thing and interrupt the process that most of us have. Because if you begin the morning by having all sorts of negative thoughts of stress, doubt, worry, concern, or whatever, that's going to radiate out into all of the other three areas, and then it's going to create this feedback loop that just spirals downward, right? So you got to get in there and you got to interrupt the process. Now, one of the automatic things that you can do is you can start thinking positive thoughts, but that's not enough. You got to get in there and you got to move your body. Move your body the way somebody who's in a positive mood would move their body. If you mope around, of course you're going to feel mopey. Okay, one of these great exercises that came out from the NLP world that was popularized by the fabulous Tony Robbins, who puts on these amazing events and teaches people some interesting ideas about how to use your body to make yourself feel better. He gives you this exercise. He says, smile at yourself in the mirror, right? Smile as if you just won the lottery. And then while you're smiling like that, try really, really hard to feel depressed. Okay, you could try this on your own and you will find that it is not possible. Okay, another thing that we can do is that we can surround ourselves with people who are putting positive ideas into our minds. So what I want to experiment with here is, and it's unfortunate that I cannot read your chat, so I'm going to have to come back and read this later, but what I want you guys to do right now is write in the chat box a reason why you should be happy right now. You got to have at least one reason. There's got to be at least one thing in your life. Write out right now a reason why you should feel happy. You got to have at least one. Come on. If you can't think of one, you're in trouble. Okay? I know you can think of one. We got to fix this if you can't think of one. You could probably at least think of one. You could probably think of two things. You could probably think of three things. You might even be able to think of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things. Okay? I want to see some chats in there. I want to see, write this out, guys. Let's help each other, because if you write that in there and you spread those positive vibes into the group, let's see if we can get some feedback loop going amongst us as well. So this TAFT loop thing is the internal part of it, but when you are surrounded by people that are positive as well and that have the right attitude as well, that are radiating strength and vitality, rather than depression and weakness, right? People that are radiating positive vibes rather than negative vibes, people that want to help you rather than pull you down. Of course, it's going to be so much easier for you to keep into that. Okay, now, does this mean that if you're surrounded by negative people that you are in a trap that you cannot get out of? No, it doesn't matter what your situation is right now. It doesn't matter what you grew up in. Maybe society handed you the wrong card. They dealt you the wrong cards, all right? Maybe society has you at a disadvantage. Maybe because of your sexual preference or your color or, whatever it is that happened to you, okay? I could be really sad about the world because I don't have hair on my head, okay? It doesn't bother me in the slightest. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't even think about it. There are things that I could focus on were I to choose to focus on those things that would bring me down. Okay, I see lots of comments there. I don't know what you guys are saying. I'm going to fix this so I can see the chat live on the next time, but I want to see what we can do to lift each other up. I think it's really important right now that we do this. If you turn on the news, I spend very little time looking at the news, because I'll tell you why. All right, first of all, a lot of it's straight propaganda, guys. Okay, if you haven't figured that out yet, do a deep dive into that and figure it out. And if you want some proof of that, I'm happy to expound upon that at some point. Okay, I can give you historical cases to prove to you that the vast majority of what you are experiencing and reading in the news is not designed to educate you or inform you. It is designed to persuade you in a particular direction. Okay, and look, you know, it's funny, I talk about this in this context, but it's the reality that we have to face. Okay, being positive and being energetic does not mean you should ignore reality. Okay, I can tell you right now that there are governments and interest groups of various flavors that are planting stories in the news for particular agendas. This is a fact, guys. It's a fact, right? You got to face that. But the problem is a lot of us, you know, we find the stuff that confirms our bias. You know, we find our propaganda outlet of choice, and we believe that, and we allow that to piss us off. Right now, some of the stuff I saw in the news is the fact that there are a lot of, you know, Christian churches being attacked by, you know, some followers of Islam. Okay, that's allegedly, you know, in the news. Some news outlets are suppressing this. Some news outlets are saying it's reality, but it's being suppressed. No matter which side you're on, you've got reasons to turn on the news and be pissed off, right? So rather than allow any of that to affect how you feel, what you've got to do is you got to get out there and be a force for positivity. Because if there are forces out there in the world that are trying to divide us and get us to fight each other, I think that the only way that we're going to handle this is two things. First of all, you got to handle your own self internally. All right, you got to make sure that you are in control of your own state of mind. You are in control of your own attitude. You are in control of your own destiny. You're not letting other people do it. And then you get out there and you treat other people well. You spread the message of positivity and strength and vitality to them. People who are feeling strong and vital and positive do not want to kill each other. Okay? That is not the state of mind that someone is in when they make that very dire decision to harm another person. Okay, imagine that. Have you ever seen somebody who genuinely felt internally strong and vital and positive go out and commit any kind of crime, right? Commit any harm against any other person? No. I don't think we can rely on our governments to do this. I don't know if our governments are in control by the people we think that are controlling the governments. I don't know that. I don't have confidence in that. You know, maybe that sounds conspiratorial. Who knows? I don't care. I just don't believe it. Okay, because I see with the evidence of my own eyes that for whatever reason, they are not advising us to do the stuff that is good for us. Some of them want us to be dependent on them. And it only makes sense from an economic perspective in one sense, right? You know, if their whole business model is, you know, to get more money from the people, well, of course, they want us to be dependent on them because that's the only reason why we put money into the government coffers. All right? But I think what you've got to be is you've got to be strong, you got to be self-reliant, you got to be responsible for your own vitality all by yourself. All right? So, guys, move in a way that's going to make you feel good. Think in a way that's going to make you feel good. Act in a way that's going to make you feel good. Change your feelings. Change your feelings. You can do it instantly if you have the right tools. If you have the right tools. All right? So anyway, this was an experiment today, a little bit different from what we've done before. Let me know how you guys like this. You know, if you like this kind of format and you like this idea of us boosting each other up, and instead of a wake-up video being a lecture, but being a way to stimulate you, and by the way, some of you guys might be watching this at night and maybe it's overstimulating you. If that is the case, you can do some nice 4-8 breathing to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. You breathe in for a count of 4, into your nose, into your belly, out through your nose, in your belly for a count of 8. Your out breath is going to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, and that will calm you down. It'll get you back to a point where you're ready to rest. It's important to be able to have control of your body, to stimulate your body in the right way, to calm yourself down, and to stimulate your body when you need vitality and energy. These are essential skills. Thinking skills, self-management skills. To me, these are the things that foundationally every child should learn, but no, we're not teaching these things to children. Strangely. Do you ask yourself why that's the case? I do. I don't know why we're teaching kids in schools the stuff that we're teaching them, rather than teaching them ways to have control over themselves, rather than teaching them ways to have control over their own minds. I really wonder, I'm curious, and I don't know, I don't have the answer to that question. I could hypothesize as to why that's going on, but one thing I know for sure is that I can choose to have control over those things right now, as can you. All right, folks, I look forward to reading your comments to see how y'all reacted to this, and who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I know what's gonna happen today. Today, I'm gonna have an amazing day. I've got lots of amazing work to do. I did Simpleology start my day. I've got a very, very clear idea of all the daily targets I'm gonna hit. Boom, I'm gonna start banging those things out again. I already got a good block of work done between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. That was amazing, got so much done. Now I'm gonna do tons more, because when I go to sleep tonight, I know I'm gonna feel a lot better about myself if I actually did lots of work that is pushing me towards the things that I want to achieve, rather than getting distracted and falling down rabbit holes and letting other people pull my mood and my energy off in different scattered directions. I'm taking control of that myself in the direction that I want to go. And every day I do that, man, I just feel so much better. I sleep better every night. I feel better about myself the next day. And that is a thing that compounds upon itself. The more and more you do that, the better and better and better you feel about yourself. All right, you guys, you have a beautiful day. I will talk to you all tomorrow.